Welcome to homework.
Okay, so we're starting with a molecule that looks like this. And we need to construct 3 additional stereoisomers or optical isomers. Now, what I'm going to do, just to simplify things, is I'm going to assign, let's say, this one on the left. We don't know if it's R or S because we don't know the priorities of G or B, right? But if it's a stereocenter, if it is a stereocenter, it could be R, it could be S, right? And I'm just going to arbitrarily assume that it's R. Um, and I'm going to assume that the one on the right is also R. Because there's something that we can do that will help you see the other optical isomers, right? If this were R, we could change it into being S by swapping any of the 2 substituents. So this is our RR version, right? Well, let's swap B and R, right? And what that would do, so the left side is staying the same, but the right-hand side, we're now putting R where B was, and B where R was. This would become S, and this would remain R, right? So now we'd have the RS enantiomer. Okay, we can also swap the B and the G. So now we're going to leave the right-hand side the same, but swap the substituents on the left-hand side. Oops, this should be an R. Sorry, it's supposed to be a B. And this would have the effect of turning the stereocenter that was previously R into S, while this one would remain the same. So now we've got the SR enantiomer. Okay? Now, either of these two, we can sort of complete the process by swapping the side that we didn't already swap. So if we start with the one in the upper right, this one, let's swap the G and the B. Okay, but leave the right the same. So now we've got a wedge to B, a dash to G, and now this becomes S, and this is S to give us the S enantiomer. Okay, so the idea is whenever you've got 2 stereocenters, there's 4 different ways it could be. They could both be R, one can be R and the other can be S, or one could be S and the other is R, or they could both be S. And if you want to swap from an R to an S, all you do is swap any 2 substituents. Now, in this case, every time I swapped a B for an R, but it's also the case that you can swap. I mean, it doesn't have to be the wedge and the dash that gets swapped. For example, we said that this stereocenter is S right here on the right. Well, if I were to swap the H and the B, oops, I forgot to swap them. If I were to actually swap the H and the B, and leave everything else the same, that would have the same effect, right? This would now become R, and the one on the left is still R because we didn't do anything, right? So any 2 substituents can be swapped. It doesn't matter. It'll always change the configuration to the opposite optical isomer. Okay.